Examples of services along the value chain. Examples of product development. Research and development. Engineering services. Technical testing. Design services. Market research. Telecommunications. Computer services. Examples of manufacturing. Manufacturing services. Management consulting. Transport services. Building clearing services. Telecommunications. Computer services. Examples of distribution. Packaging. Printing, publishing. Transport services. Logistics. Warehousing. Examples of sales. Legal services. Accounting services. Financial services. Advertising. Wholesale and retail trade. Examples of after-sale services. Financial services. Insurance services. Rental or leasing. Maintenance and repair. Technical testing. Information services. Services value added content of manufacturing exports, 1995 and 2008. Share of employment related to foreign direct investment, FDI. Wage differences in factory Asia, Europe and North America. Backward linkages in the global value chain, G.V.C. There are economies heavily dependent on imported inputs. Today, emerging countries invite foreign direct investment, FDI, foreign technology and know-how inputs and offer their abundant and cheap labor to develop production for exports. Global value chains, G.V.C., have developed in regional economic integration unions and between developed and emerging countries. There are three largest regional supply chains offering exports on global basis. These are Factory Asia, Factory Europe and Factory North America. Global value chain, G.V.C., forward linkages enables pro-export development of emerging countries. Asymmetry and contribution. Globalization process expands cooperation between factor-driven, efficiency-driven and innovation-driven economies. Innovation-driven economies develop cooperation with emerging countries who become manufacturers, production facilities. The asymmetry between innovation headquarters of transnational corporations, TNC, and emerging countries is that they dominate and control global value chains, G.V.C. They initiate global value chain, G.V.C., finance, organize, develop, manage, take the risk and as a result have had some profits. Benefits of emerging countries is a substantial increase in income, employment, technological advance, skills, development, standards and modernization. The global value chain, G.V.C., and the world distribution nets. International supply chains are basically of regional character. Distance and localization still matter. The global value chains, G.V.C., dominate large transnational corporations, TNC. They initiate, organize, finance, develop, manage production between their headquarters and emerging countries, including the BRICS group of countries. They also offer forward linkages for exports, worldwide distribution nets. Transnational corporations, TNC, and the contribution to global value chain, G.V.C., is in backward manufacturing and forward links dominated by technology, know-how, capital, finance and other professional services. Exports of emerging countries. Many emerging countries are export-oriented economies. Emerging countries' exports contains a relatively large share of imported inputs. The emerging countries' net export value must be reduced by 40% minus 60% and sometimes higher percent due to importing intermediaries but and also invisible inputs. Export value of China, South Korea, India, Taiwan contain a large share of importing intermediaries and services. Computer-aided manufacturing, CAD. The computer-aided manufacturing, CAD, raised productivity and quality standards. Computers aided design, engineering and management. The computer-aided manufacturing, CAD, radically reduced fixed costs, time and improved quality of production. Increased flexibility of production and design. Computer-aided manufacturing, CAD. Shifted production from identical mass products towards customized ones. Computer-aided manufacturing, CAD. Reduce scale economies in many industries. Computerizing tasks and embedding them into machinery. Numerically controlled machines, NCMS. Robots and computer-aided manufacturing, CAD, allows a single worker to perform a wider range of tasks. Information and Communications Technology, I.C.T, International Cooperation and Competition. Due to the Information and Communications Technology, I.C.T, revolution, improved coordination reduces transmission of activities and transportation costs, risk and managerial time. Moving labor-intensive vestiges of activities abroad reduce wage costs. Offshoring of labor-intensive stages from Japan, United States and Germany to their low-wage neighbors starts a simple form of global value chain, G.V.C. The global value chain, G.V.C, production localization decisions are influenced by local spillover of various types. Product development may be cheaper by going international. Internationalization of value chains forces. Skill-intensive stages remain in high-wage nations and low-skill stages are transferred to low-wage nations. High-quality components and diversification are more profitable despite comparatively high wages. This type of horizontal specialization is typical for the European Union member states and supply chains among high-wage countries. Car and electronic components bring scale effects and additionally benefits of high quality and diversification. Agglomeration forces for global value chain, G.V.C. Demand linkages are typical for high-income and dynamic nations and their metropolis. Generally, demand links operate on an economy-wide basis. Supply links operate more on a sectoral basis. Supply linkages rest on technology and know-how gaps and different sign cost of inputs. Agglomeration in many cases balances dispersion forces in international value chains. Changes in sources of competitive advantage lead to changes in global value chain, G.V.C. The global value chain, G.V.C, and ISO standards. Structure of value creation in global value chain, G.V.C. Structure of value creation in global chain is reflected in the smile curve. At the stage of prefabrication and post-fabrication value additive services are clearly higher to fabrication stage. In 21st century international value chain curve compared to earlier decades indicates that production, fabrication, including assembly contributes less to value added than professional services, technology, know-how, management and income from foreign direct investment, FDI. Today, competitive advantage of innovation countries moves away from manufacturing to services and prefabrication and post-fabrication market linkages. The smile curve of global value chain, G.V.C, stages share of products total value added versus stage of fabrication for the 21st century value chain and 1970s value chain. Prefabrication services, fabrication, post-fabrication services. Value added and benefits. The smile curve. Value added versus production stage. Comparison between the 70s and the present day. R&D and design, manufacturing and assembly, marketing, distribution and after-sales services. Nokia case of global value chain, G.V.C, and structure of value added. Although the Nokia phone is mostly made in Asia, the most of value added accrues in Europe. The total value added in Europe depends on where the phone is sold, retail margin, and assembled, China or Finland. In case of production of Nokia in China and sold in the European Union, 2/3 of value added is reached in Europe. Europe's value added is related to licenses, other pre- and post-fabrication services, including distribution and retailing, supply of memories, cameras, integrated circuits. The China's value added is in production of labor-intensive parts and assembly. Value added Nokia N95 by stage. Table 5.1. Nokia N95, cost breakdown, 2007. European Union 27, structure